Hi all, welcome to this video lecture series of BEEE course. So far we have discussed 4 units in this course. The unit 5, it is last unit, the semiconductor devices we are going to discuss. The basic contents in this course is Introduction to Semiconductors, Classification of Solids based on Energy Band Diagram, Types of semiconductors, intrinsic, extrinsic, in that n-type, p-type semiconductors. Then application parts, PN junction diode, Zener diode, rectifiers, half a full wave, and transistors, basic working of PNP and NPN transistors. Right, we start. Introduction to these semiconductors. Tell me, what is the use of these semiconductors? Why we need? We have conductors, insulators. The third one, why we need these semiconductors? Conductors means they easily pass the electricity. Insulators means they won't pass, they stop. But semiconductors, why we need? Conductors is there to pass electricity. Insulator is there to stop electricity. Why we need this third one, semiconductor? Yes, the problem is with the conductors is we can't control the passage of electricity. Once you switch on, it always flows. See, insulators, you can't pass it, you can't control it, electricity. So we need some materials in between these two such that we can control the passage of electricity, right? So that's why we use semiconductors. The term semiconductor arises from the ability of these materials to conduct part-time whenever we required it. A semiconductor can sometimes act like conductor or insulator in the same circuit. See the beauty. Semiconductor act like insulator or conductor. The resistivity of the semiconducting materials is lies in between the resistivity of conductors and insulators. In between these two. Applications, amplification, rectification, oscillation and signal mixing and switching devices we use it. In addition to that, semiconductors, the pure semiconductors, we may not use in all circuits. We need some impurities to get enhancement of charge carriers. So impurities must be added to silicon to give it desired properties. Right? Next slide. We go through this basic structure of an atom. Atom means it is having nucleus in center part. Around it we have orbits, right? So in nucleus we have protons and neutrons. Neutrons, they don't have charge. Neutrons and protons. Protons are positive charge, they will carry as equal to electron charge. And in outermost orbits, first one, second one, third one, outermost orbits we have called valency bonds. In that we have valency electrons. Valency electrons means the electrons which are occupying outermost orbit, right? So these electrons and protons, they have attraction. So atom is stable means the attraction force is the maximum level, right? See this, valence electrons are those electrons which are located in the outermost or valency shell of an atom. The number of valence electrons an atom has determines the electrical properties of that. Yes, coming to this, if you have valency electrons is about 1 or 2 or 3, that you call it as conductors, means these electrons are having less bonding force with the nucleus as compared to insulators. Means the outermost orbit electrons, means valence electrons, I can detach easily. That's why conductors, we can take electrons out easily and we can conduct easily. What about insulators? Insulators, if we have valence electrons 7 or 8, means bonding force is very very high. Almost they are stable. Almost they are stable. So in that case, it is very hard, very difficult to detach valence electrons. Why we want to detach these valence electrons? Yes, we want to pass the charge, means electricity. If you pass the electricity, we can do some work. Yes, so insulators it is not possible because we need high amount of energy, because the bonding force is high, is maximum. See this atom diagram. But in conductors, the bonding force is minimum, means valence electrons easily we can detach it. Sometimes they are freely randomly moving in these materials. Next, the third type, semiconductor. Semiconductors means the number of valence electrons equal to 4 or 5. In that materials, the bonding force requires is minimum or maximum or in between, that is depending upon temperature. Right, go to the next slide. This is energy band diagram. Electrons in the higher orbit possess more energy. Yes, from nucleus to first orbit, second orbit, third orbit, the energy levels are increasing. So if you take one atom, means it is composing of so many infinity number of energy levels. Yes, infinity number of energy levels. Infinity number of energy level means it is very difficult to graph all those things. But out of those, very very important and impactful energy bands are three: valency band, forbidden band, and conduction band. These three will make material is like this. Material will be conducting or not conducting. That is more important. Yes, the electrical properties of a material can be determined with the help of this energy band diagram, that is conduction band, forbidden band, valency band. Yes, see, first of all, valency band. What is band? See, atoms in a molecules in a material, like they are making one material, means they are comprising so many molecules comprising so many atoms. While sharing these atoms, valence electrons all will make one band, right? The second orbit they will make some band. So like this, so many energy band levels will be occupying in every material. Out of those, yes, as said, this is conduction band, forbidden band, valence band. These three are very important to specify material is like this or like this, right? See this diagram. First of all, valency band, beyond which conduction band it is there, means conduction band energy is higher. If you want to enter in this energy conduction band, we need more energy. And in between, forbidden energy gap is there, means this much energy if you have, you can jump, you can transfer your charge carriers into conduction band. Yes, the next topic, classification of solids based on energy band diagram. First, the first diagram is insulator, this is conductor, this is semiconductor. As said, insulators, the bonding force between valence electrons and the nucleus is higher, maximum. See here, 15 electron volts. 15. Don't take it is very small. 15 electron volts means equivalent to lakhs of volts. If you want to conduct one insulator, you need lakhs of volts. Okay, so it is impossible. If you conduct insulator means they lose its property, right? So valency band, conduction band separated by maximum energy level, this you call it as insulators. Means outermost valence electrons number is having 7 or 8. Next, conductors. The beauty in conductor is without applying voltage also they randomly move in the material itself. See, here valence band, conduction band almost clubbed. See here, conduction band, valence band almost clubbed. Means from this band they will entirely jump into conduction band depending upon the temperature, thermal energy. So randomly they move, but inside the internal current, net current is equal to 0. Whatever electron is going there, it will coming back. Like this, in all random directions, material net current is 0. So conductors, valency band, conduction band almost overlap. The energy required to make passes of electricity is very minimum as compared to insulators. The third one, semiconductors, that we need now. Semiconductors, actually 0.7 to 1.1 electron volts energy gap is there. Means if you give 0.7 electron volts, yes, we can easily pass the charge carrier from valency band to conduction. What is charge carrier? Electron only. Electron. We won't pass the protons. Protons, if you want to detach from nucleus, means very difficult task that they do in nuclear reactors. Okay, that is separate concept. So from valency band to conduction band we can pass these electrons with minimum or medium energy level 0.7 to 1.1 electron volts. This is about semiconductor. Next slide. Semiconductors properties, we discuss it. The first property, they are formed by covalent bonds. Covalent bonds means they share outermost orbits. The next property, they are in crystalline structure. Crystalline structure means in arranged manner, one atom, second atom, third atom in cubical manner they will be placed in a material, that is crystalline structure. Next, with the presence impurity, resistivity of this material decreases very drastically. Yes, if you add some impurities, resistivity can be decreased drastically. Semiconductor is tetravalent, 4 electrons in the outermost orbit. Yes, resistivity lies between resistivity of insulator and conductor. Yes, that we have discussed. Forbidden gap energy for semiconductor is less, 0.7 to 1.1 electron volt. Semiconductor has negative temperature coefficient. This is very important. Negative temperature coefficient means when the temperature increases, the charge carriers available will be increasing. Means the electricity passes scope is increasing. Means the resistivity is going to decrease. This negative temperature coefficient of resistance means temperature increase, resistivity will decrease. Right? This property is very important. I have a small question regarding this. See, we use air conditioners. Air conditioners means not only maintaining temperature. Suppose if I set my AC at 16 degrees Celsius, the room will be at 16 degrees, not like that. Air conditioner, conditioning the air means all the parameters, temperature as well as moisture content and other thermal properties, they will maintain it. Anyway, so air conditioners we use particularly in electronics labs or computer labs are our server rooms. Clear? Why? We use as mandatory. Why won't we use in our kitchen, our hall, our classrooms? Yes, this negative temperature coefficient, it is the main role actually. If you don't use air conditioners in very smooth labs, very sensitive labs, the semiconductors will play like they will like malfunction. Malfunction means this negative temperature coefficient will decrease the resistivity with increasing temperature. So inside the circuits of microcontroller, by using semiconductors, they will do malfunctioning, sometimes damaging of electronic circuits also. This is the properties. The basic semiconductors we use silicon and germanium. This is the germanium. We have outermost orbit valence electrons 4. Atomic number is 32. You can check how they accommodated in orbits. First orbit 2, next orbit, yes, that you know formula, 2n square formula. Next, the silicon atomic number is 14. Yes, outermost electrons also again 4. For this germanium, the forbidden energy gap is 0.7 electron volts. Silicon it is higher, quite higher, 1.1 electron volts. Semiconductors types we discussed now. First one intrinsic semiconductor, second one extrinsic semiconductor. First of all, what is intrinsic? It is a basic level, pure form of semiconductors is known as intrinsic semiconductor. See the silicon, all are silicon atoms. I have chosen silicon material, right? So it is having 4 valency electrons. The second atom also 4 valency electrons. So each atom is sharing 4 covalent bonds. Just now we have discussed in the properties. So like this, they are making in crystalline form. You can see this diagram also, how they are sharing. First covalent bond, this is second covalent bond, third, fourth, 4 covalent bonds each silicon is making. The next slide, the second type, extrinsic semiconductor. Why we are going this extrinsic semiconductor? Intrinsic is there, it can conduct the current. Yes, in intrinsic semiconductor, the electricity passes can be done by both electrons and holes. Okay, good. But the magnitude or the concentration level is less. Is not sufficient. We need some more charge carriers. How can I get? Yes, by adding impurities. Yes, see the first one, intrinsic semiconductor plus impurity, that is equal to extrinsic semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductor means impure, not a pure form of semiconductor is known as extrinsic semiconductor. Yes, adding these impurities to the semiconductor is known as doping. Which material we are adding, which impurity you are adding, that is called as dopant. Actually these dopants are two types, donor impurities, acceptor impurities. Donor impurities means which have 5 number of valency electrons, pentavalent impurity. Acceptor impurity means which have trivalent impurities, means 3 valency electrons. Examples of pentavalent impurities means 5 valency number of electrons. You can check by your atomic number knowledge. First one, phosphorus, antimony, arsenic, bismuth. Please make it note, PAAB, PAB. You may use it as pub, right? So PAAB, pub for donor impurities, pentavalent impurities. P, pentavalent, pub. And next is trivalent, means only we have 3 valence number of electrons, gallium, indium, aluminum, boron, right? Next, extrinsic semiconductor are two types. First one N type and P type. If you add donor impurities, pentavalent impurities, that is known as N type semiconductor. If you add if you add acceptor impurities, means trivalent impurities, to the pure form of semiconductor is known as P-type semiconductor. What is the basic difference between these two? We discuss it now in detail. Yes, in N-type semiconductor we add pentavalent impurities. Just we discussed phosphorus, antimony, arsenic, and bismuth. Bob, right? See the structure here. So I have Sb, what is antimony. Here antimony atom is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 valency electrons. Right? Silicon is having only 4. So these 4 and these 4 are making 4 covalent bonds. By seeing this you can observe this. But antimony is having extra one electron. This electron is not having any other neighbor electron in valency band to make a fifth covalent band. So what they do, this electron is become free. See, by adding one antimony atom we are getting one electron, free electron. See, so if you add doping with the high concentration, the high number of free electrons can be available. So in N-type semiconductors we are reaching the required level of charge carrier concentration by adding the sufficient number of donor impurities. Okay, so every antimony atom is making one free electron. Means we can increase the conductivity, we can decrease the resistivity. Please see this diagram. So plus minus, plus minus, plus minus. So the plus means yes, it is making like ion. Clear? It is donating one electron from its valency band, means yes, it is making like ion. It is losing its positive electron. Sorry, negative electron. It is making like positive ion. See, this is positive ion, means it is like atom, immobile atom. It is free electrons. Free electrons are increasing. Next, P-type semiconductor. If you add the trivalent impurities to this pure semiconductor devices, we can get P-type semiconductors. P means positive, that's it. N means negative. Positive P-type means we have positive charge carrier concentration is more. Yes. So trivalent means we have only 1, 2, 3, 3 valency electrons, and silicon is already having 4. So boron is ready to make 3 covalent bonds, but here 1 is absent. One more electron is not there because it is trivalent, only 3 are there. So the problem is here, the deficiency of electron is in this covalent bond, in this structure. So simply I call it as, it is also one charge carrier, it is called it as hole. Hole means absence of electron in that covalent bond, right? So it is also ready to pass. Suppose if you send one electron, means easily it will accept it. That's why it is acceptor impurities, right? So if you send one electron into this bond, yes, easily it will accept it, right? Means we are producing the positive charge carriers in this P-type semiconductors. Means see this diagram. By donating the positive charge carrier, it is becoming like negative ion. Negative ion. Clear? So these are immobile negative ions. The positive here given with the red color, it is holes. These are also charge carriers. P-type and N-type semiconductors connected to battery. Yes, if you give the voltage to the P-type semiconductor or N-type semiconductor, they will pass electricity, right? Yes, just anticipate on this connection diagram for 1 or 2 minutes. This positive battery is there, it is connected here. The positive force is going to repel the holes. These holes will pass like this. Next, this negative polarity will supply so many electrons here. So electrons are going like this. The electrons are entering here. Holes are accumulating here. Means they are like recombining. Means whatever electrons you are supplying here, it is going like this, like this, like this. Yes, it is going like this because the hole is moving from left to right. The electron in the same way, in opposite way, it is moving from right to left. In this way, p-type semiconductor passes the electricity. N-type semiconductor, this positive force will attract these free electrons. This negative force will repel these electrons. Means these so many plenty of electrons will enter here. These electrons will going, it will go to the source again. In this way, p-type and n-type semiconductor will make conduction. In next class we discuss the p-n junction diode. See, this p-type n-type semiconductor, we can conduct it. We have sufficient level of charge carriers, yes, but what is the basic fundamental of semiconductor? We want control. Control means we want on off at required level. We don't want to off completely, we don't want to on completely. So p-type n-type semiconductors, if you use individuals, there is no use like conductors use. If you add these two, p-type n-type, side by side, it is like p-n junction diode. It will be some application you can make it. You can control the electricity passes by changing this voltage. Anyway, so in this next class we discuss how to make p-n junction diode, how p-n junction diode works. Thank you. Any queries, please come into this WhatsApp group, ask me. Thank you.